Emilio Jacinto, Kartilya ng Katipunan, Reading in Philippine History, a video PowerPoint presentation by Pauline Rose Paalan, Jubaira Sultan, and Sendri Jamilil, a student of BSBA major in Financial Management. Background of Emilio Jacinto. Born December 15, 1875 at Tondo, Manila, Captaincy General of the Philippines. Died April 16, 1899. Age 23. Santa Cruz, Laguna, Philippine Islands. Spouse Catalina de Jesus. A Filipino general during the Philippine Revolution. He was one of the highest-ranking officers in the Philippine Revolution. One of the highest-ranking officers of the Revolutionary Society, kataas-taasan, kagalang-galang na katipunan ng mga anak ng bayan, or simply and more popularly called Katipunan, being a member of its Supreme Council. He was elected Secretary of the State for the Haring Bayang, Katagalugan, a revolutionary government established during the outbreak of hospitalities. He is popularly known in the Philippine history textbooks as the brain of the Katipunan, while some contend he should be rightfully recognized as brains of the revolution, Filipino, utak ng himagsikan, a title that is usually given to Apolinario Mabini. Jacinto was present in the so-called Cry of Pugad Lawin, or Cry of Balintawak, with Andres Bonifacio, the Supreme President of the Katipunan, and the others of its members, which signaled the start of the revolution against the Spanish colonial government in the islands. Others named Pinkian, Dimasilaw, Kailyong. A. Provide all available photos that refer to him. First, marker at Santa Maria Magdalena, Parish and Magdalena, Laguna, where he set up headquarters while recuperating from a gunshot wound. Second, old 20 peso bill that features Emilio Jacinto and Andres Bonifacio. Third, Emilio Jacinto's new monument in Magdalena, Laguna, unveiled last April 2017. B. How is he viewed, branded by some historians? Historians viewed Jacinto as he introduced himself with great love for our town. He is quiet inside the school, but he expresses his courage whenever these necessary moments come. C. How is he viewed, branded by Andres Bonifacio? According to Andres Bonifacio, he viewed Emilio Jacinto as an eloquent and brave young man.
Where is his birthplace and birthday? At Tondo, Manila, Captaincy General of the Philippines, born on December 18, 1875.
F. Who are his parents? Their professions. He was the only son of a man named Mariano Jacinto and a woman named Josefa Dizon. According to our research, there is no declared any profession about Mariano Jacinto because he passed away after born of Emilio, his son, while Josefa Dizon is a midwife. G. Which class do you think he belongs? Rich, poor, middle? Poor. Emilio came from a low-income family. That is why, when his father died, his mother asked her brother Don Jose Dizon to adopt him. His mother believed that Don Jose will give Emilio a bright future. Despite being an orphan, a young man managed to send himself to Colegio de San Juan de Letran.
Provide a description of what he looks like in a form of statement, as claimed by whose author. Kali Sipansky, updated on March 6, 2009. Whether their skin be dark or white, all human persons are equal. One may be superior in knowledge, in wealth, in beauty, but not in being more human. By Emilio Jacinto, Kartila ng Katipunan. Emilio Jacinto was an eloquent and brave young man. known as both the soul and the brain of the Katipunan. Andres Bonifacio revolutionary organizations. In his short life, Jacinto helped to lead the fight for Filipino independence from Spain. He laid out principle for the new government envisioned by Bonifacio. In the end, however, neither man would survive to see the Spanish overthrown.
I. Provide a description of his personality according to some accounts. It is known that by the time he went away to college, he could fluently speak both Spanish and Tagalog, the language of the Philippine people. However, he preferred to speak in Spanish a majority of the time.
His educational background, what, where, and when. What, Emilio D. Jacinto took up law course, where San Juan de Letran College, Logo. He then transferred to the University of Santo Tomas to take up law, University of Santo Tomas, Logo. When, on 1896, and his study was interrupted when he joined the Katipunan at the beginning of Philippine Revolution. Even though his fellow classmates would make fun of him because of what he wore at school, he had grown to be strong and quiet but fearless in any battle.
K. At what age did Jacinto enter Katipunan? He was only 19 years of age, but became one of the ablest leaders of the Katipunan.
What are the positions he held? Played as Katipunero. Jacinto became the secretary, directly reporting to the leader of the Katipunan. He also became the chief advisor on fiscal matter concerning this secret society. In addition to these duties, Emilio also wrote the society's newspaper, The Kalayaan. Emilio was given a name when he was part of this group. What are the list of pen names he used in his work? He wrote in the newspaper under the pen name Dimasilaw and used the alias Pinkian in the Katipunan. Jacinto was the author of Kartila ng Katipunan as well. What are the list of his written works? Jacinto also wrote for the Katipunan newspaper called Kalayaan. He wrote in the newspaper under the pen name Dimasilaw and used the alias Pinkian in the Katipunan. Jacinto was the author of Kartila ng Katipunan as well. After Bonifacio's execution, Jacinto pressed on with the Katipunan struggles. Provide a description on how he died. Jacinto contracted malaria and died on April 16, 1899 in Barangay Alipit, Santa Cruz, Laguna. His remains were initially buried in Barangay San Juan, Santa Cruz, Laguna, and were transferred to Manila's North Cemetery a few years later. What are the samples money that has his face? Provide a photo. Here is the photo of 20 old piso bill that features Emilio Jacinto and Andres Bonifacio.
A. Provide a background of what cartilla is. Provide a photo illustration. The Kartilya ng Katipunan, English, Primer of the Katipunan, serve as the guidebook for new members of organization, which laid out the group rules and principles. The first edition of Cartilla was written by Emilio Jacinto. Andres Bonifacio later wrote a revised Decalogue. The Decalogue, originally titled Katungkulang Gagawin ng mga ZLIB, Duties of the Sons of the People, was never published because of Bonifacio believed that Jacinto Cartilla was superior to what he had made.
B. Where is the original version of it? The first edition of the Cartilla was written by Emilio Jacinto. Andres Bonifacio later wrote a revised Decalogue.
What influences Jacinto to write the Cartilla? In admiration of Emilio Jacinto's literary style, Bonifacio would later adopt Jacinto's Cartilla as the official teaching of the Katipunan. Similar to the Decalogue, the Cartilla was written to introduce new recruits to the principle and value that should guide every member of the organization.
D. Visit the below reference.
and identify the evidence that gives credit to Jacinto as the author of Cartilla. Evidence should be in image form.
E. Why did Bonifacio prepare the Cartilla instead of his own Decalogue? Sometime in 1896, Andres Bonifacio, the father of the Philippine Revolution, and once the president of the Supreme Council of the Katipunan, penned the duties of the sons of the people, a list of the duties and responsibilities to be followed strictly by every member of the organization. The rules constitute a decalogue and embodied Bonifacio's passionate beliefs. In admiration of Emilio Jacinto's literary style, Bonifacio would later adopt Jacinto's cartillas as the official teachings of the Katipunan. Similar to the Decalogue, the cartilla was written to introduce new recruits to the principles and values that should guide every member of the organization. In the lead up to the sesquicentennial of Andres Bonifacio's birth, the Presidential Museum and Library share Bonifacio's Decalogue, a reminder of the nation's inherent solidarity and of our people's strength, a reminder rendered timeless as we begin rebuilding in the aftermath of Typhoon Yolanda. F. What is Association of the Sons of the People actually means? Katipunan. In full kataas-taasan kagalang-galangan na katipunan ng mga anak ng bayan. Supreme Worshipful Association of the Sons of the People.
G. What is the purpose of the association? Layunin ng KKK na pag-isahin ang mga Pilipino na makamit ang kalayaan ng bansa sa pamamagitan ng isang himagsikan laban sa mga Kastila.
H. What are the teaching of the Katipunan? Mga aral ng Katipunan ng mga ANB. The Katipunan Code of Conduct. Translation by Gregorio Nieva, 1918. Ang kabuhayang hindi ginugugol sa isang malaki at banal na kadahilanan ay kahoy na walang lilim kundi damong makamandag. The life that is not consecrated to a lofty and reasonable purpose is a tree without a shade, if not a poisonous weed. Ang gawang magaling na nagbubuhat sa pagpipita sa sarili at hindi sa talagang nasang gumawa ng kagalingan ay di kabaitan. To do good for personal gain and not for its own sake is not virtue. Ang tunay na kabanalan ay ang pagkakawang gawa ng pag-ibig sa kapwa at ang isukat ang bawat kilos, gawat pangungusap sa talagang katwiran. It is rational to be charitable and love one's fellow creature and to adjust one's conduct, acts, and words to what is in itself reasonable. 4. Maitim man at maputi ang kulay ng balat, lahat ng tao ay makakapantay. Mangyayaring ang isa'y higtan sa dunong, sa yaman, sa ganda, ngunit di may higtan sa pagkatao. Whether our skin be black or white, we are all born equal. Superiority in knowledge, wealth, and beauty are to be understood, but not superiority by nature. 5. Ang may mataas na kalooban, inuuna ang puri sa pagpipita sa sarili. Ang may hamak na kalooban, inuuna ang pagpipita sa sarili sa puri. The honorable man prefers honor to personal gain. The scoundrel gain to honor. 6. Sa taong may hiya, salita'y panunumpa. To the honorable man, his word is sacred. 7. Huwag mong sayangin ang panahon. Ang yamang nawalay mangyayaring magbalik. Ngunit panahong nagdaan na, di na muli pang magdadaan. Value of time. Do not waste thy time. Wealth can be recovered but not time lost.
E. Ipagtanggol mo ang inaapi at kabakahin ang umaapi. Defend the oppressed and fight the oppressor before the law or in the field. 9. Ang taong matalinoy ay may pag-iingat sa bawat sasabihin at matutong ipaglihim ang dapat ipaglihim. The prudent man is sparing, in words and faithful in keeping secrets.
Number 10. Sa daang matinik ng kabuhayan, lalaki ay siyang patnugot ng asawa at mga anak. Kung ang umaakay ay tungo sa masama, ang patutunguhan ng iaakay ay kasamaan din. On the thorny path of life, man is the guide of woman and the children, and if the guide leads to the precipice, those whom he guides will also go there. Number 11. Ang babae ay huwag mong tignan isang bagay na libangan lamang, kundi isang katwang at karamay sa kahirapan nitong kabuhayan. Gamitin mo na ang buong pagpipitagan ang kanyang kahinaan at alalahanin ang inang pinagbuhatan na giwi sa iyong kasalungan. Though who must look upon woman at mercy plating, but as a faithful companion who will share with thee the penalties of life. Her physical witness will increase thy interest in her, and shall remind thee of the mother who bore thee and reared thee.
12. Ang di mo ibig na gawin sa asawa mo, anak at kapatid, ay huwag mong gagawin sa asawa, anak at kapatid ng iba. What does not desire done unto thy wife, children, brothers and sisters, that do not unto the wife, children, brothers and sisters of thy neighbor.
Number 13. Ang kamahalan ng tayo wala sa pagkahari, wala sa tangos ng ilong ang puti na muka, wala sa pagkaparing kahalili ng Diyos, wala sa mataas na kalagayan sa balat ng lupag. Wagais at tunay ang mahal ng tao. Kahit laking gubat at walang nababatid kundi ang sariling wika, yaong may magandang asal, may isang pangungusap, may dangal at puri, yaong di naaapit, di nakikiapi, yaong marunong magdamdam at marunong lumingat sa bayang tinubuan. Man is worth more because he is a king, because his nose is aquiline, and his color white, not because he is priest a servant of God, nor because of high prerogative and he enjoys upon earth, but he is worth more most who is the man proven a real value, who does good, keep his word, is a worthy and honest, he who does not oppress, nor consent being oppressed, he who loves and cherishes his fatherland, though he is born in the wilderness and know no tongue but his own. Number 14. Paglaganap ng mga aral na ito at maningning na sumikat ang araw ng mahal na kalayaan di sa kaabang-abang na sangkalupaan at sa bugan na matamis ng liwanag ang nagangkaisang magkalahit magkapatid na ligay ng walang katapusan. Ang mga ginugol na buhay, pagod at mga tinis na kahirap ay labis na marumbasan. Kung lahat ng ito ay matarok na nangihibig pumasok at inaakala niyang natutupad ang mga tutungkulin, may itatala ang kanyang nasa sa kasunod nito. When these rules of conduct shall be known at all, the long coil of sun liberty shall experience over this most unhappy portion of the globe, and its race shall diffuse everlasting joy among the confederate breeding of the same race. The lives of those who have gone before their fatigues will fade, suffering will remain. If those who desire enter Katipunan has informed himself all of the beliefs he will able to perform what he will be his duties, he may fill out the application for admission.
I. Give your insights about these teachings. Are these more ethical or political in nature? Why? Kartilya ng Katipunan is a set of principles that shows the path on how each and every one of us must live of lives by living to the fullest through good values. I believe that this Kartilya ng Katipunan was made to change the thoughts of every Filipino's unacceptable behavior. Katipunan was not just like an organization working towards the freedom of the Filipinos. They built on the ideological and political foundation constructed by men and women who sacrificed themselves because of their love for the country and for the people. Just like Rizal, who pushed Filipinos to think critical with full understanding. This code of conduct was made to inform people of what they deserve to know for making their lives better.
J. What are the insights of Jacinto about these teachings? The Cartilla. Insight of Jacinto about the teaching Cartilla tells that the worth of a person is not in being a king, not in the shape of his nose, or the whiteness of his face, nor in being a priest, representative of God, nor in the loftiness of the position he holds on this earth. That person is pure and truly noble, even though he was born in the forest,
and knows no language about his own, who is possessed of good character, is true to his word, has dignity and honor, who does not oppress others nor help their oppressors, who knows how to feel for and care for his native land. A. What are your insights, conclusion of the existence of Cartilla as a form of teachings? What do this teaching emphasize? It emphasizes the hope he has for everyone and believes that every sacrifices that a Katipunero make will always be worth it. Kartilya ng Katipunan is a set of principles that shows the path on how each and every one of us must live of lives by living to the fullest through good values. What are your learning experiences in doing creating the presentations?
First, time management will improve. Second, learn to speak clearly so that the audience will understand your discussion well. Third, build confidence. Fourth, learn on how to make a presentation that will be enjoyed by the listeners and acquire the interest of the audience. Fifth, presenting a topic should not be too long so that the audience does not get bored and it should always be on point. Sixth, presentation skills help us to create an innovative ideas. When an individual come up with creative and interesting slides to illustrate the talk. List of group members with corresponding photos. Presenter number 3. Jubaira Sultan, BSBA FM Block 1. Sendri Jamilil, BSBA FM Block 1. Pauline Paalan, BSBA FM Block 1. References: